Recycling Lives won the award for its Achieve Northwest project, which works predominantly with offenders in the local community. It's quite a unique concept that has a lot of participant involvement. So they're engaged and they ask questions as to why they think the project's going to move forward and what they're going to get out of it. And that way it's developed the programme that it is today. And the sustainability aspect of it has come through from the actual core activities that the participants are involved in. They are income generating for the corporate entity and for the project itself, so that helps sustain it by funding it back in. The Recycling Lives and Achieve Northwest project is a project that focuses on reducing reoffending by increasing worklessness for disadvantaged people and offenders. The project is a 16-week project that's funded by NOMS and ESF and the co-financing body. The participants and the offenders, they come through the project through a referral system with Achieve Northwest key workers in the Lancashire area. It then dilutes through to us at a referral meeting. The participants are then offered a placement on the project, which involves a health and safety training, a couple of days, and within that time the participants are asked to engage the trainers in the company into what they want to get out of the project, and that then leads on to an interview opportunity and then the offer of employment if they're successful. That offer of employment then transcends to a voluntary opportunity and a work placement opportunity, so they're able to engage in different areas that they might not originally have come to Recycling Lives to work with. This is for the charity of Recycling Lives, Recycling Lives UK Ltd, which offers disadvantaged people homes to live in and a path back to work. The project then goes on to a work placement, a paid work placement for the participants, for the offenders. This then allows them, it gives a bit of a reason to come to work. They're actually getting paid for it rather than a community payback type model where the retention rate isn't quite as high as this, because they're actually getting something out of it. They're getting employment, they're getting training, and they're getting workplace opportunities that build their confidence, so then when they do leave Recycling Lives, or if they do leave Recycling Lives after the 16-week programme has ended, they are able to continue into employment elsewhere. At Recycling Lives, we're an environmental technology sector company. We've diversified our range of jobs over the past couple of years, and it's been that's given us the opportunity to work with Achieve Northwest and the offenders. The types of jobs that they'll be doing is things like car stripping. We have a vehicle dismantling department that's called auto breakers, where cars come in that would have been crushed, and we reuse as much of the vehicle as we can, including the tyres, which then goes into our Recycling Lives centre, and they do tyres in there, so they do refurbished tyres and fit people's tyres, and this is one of the job roles that some of the offenders are able to do, and training that we can give them on there so they can take the skills elsewhere as well. There's also metal buying, your typical recycling company in that respect. So we buy all grades of metal, non-ferrous and ferrous metals from large corporate companies such as BAE and E.ON, down to your regular plumbers who come in. And the offenders, in some instances, are the ones who process that metal. They take it in, they accept it from the customers, so they're face-to-face with the customers, and they come through and they process it in our different plant and machinery. There's other aspects of the company that they work in, and other areas, the CRT dismantling, which is old televisions, old square televisions as people know them. They actually contain hazardous substances and so need to be dealt with in a certain way. What a lot of the offenders are doing, they're coming in, getting training and breaking them down into different components. You've got your copper, your wire, all the different types of glass within it, and there's also the hazardous element of phosphor, which is where the training comes in, so that we're able to actually train them on what elements are dangerous and why we need to deal with things in a certain way, why we need to recycle and why it's ingrained into society, because it reduces landfill, which then creates more space, and also it creates jobs, and it creates jobs for them. We're also a pioneer in the LCD display unit recycling. We've got a purpose-built facility at our Recycling Lives Park, which is the first in the country. And basically in LCD television there's mercury, and what a lot of companies have been doing is shredding it, which creates a lot of hazardous waste. At Recycling Lives, we take each individual aspect out and each individual component and deal with it as if it was all hazardous, and that removes the hazardous component. So the hazardous component is removed separately, and then all the other items are non-hazardous from that point on. which allows us to reprocess a lot more and divert a lot from landfill, which a lot of people are having to do, and hazardous landfill at that. So that's a couple of the elements at Recycling Lives. We also have the training, which is integrated a lot with the Achieve Northwest project and the offenders, because it's the training team that predominantly has the first access to the offenders and to the people on the project, and then helps to develop them further and offer them other opportunities. The lessons that we've learned at Recycling Lives with working with Achieve Northwest is to treat people as individuals. The main thing that I can take from this project is the referrals, and to take each case individually. One thing that we've been looking at when we've been progressing and the project's been getting bigger and bigger and expanding is keeping that ethos and keeping the individual-centred approach. This allows us to take individual circumstances into account, even things such as travel time, what time they have to get up in the morning to get into work for 8 o'clock. Some people are coming from as far afield as Morecambe and Lancaster. It's 2 trains and a bus to get to the main processing facility. So we're taking that into account and allowing them to come away. The referral meetings and the relationships with the partners, with Achieve Northwest and the Lancashire Probation Trust, that's a massive part. We have regular meetings with our manager of that project, a lady called Linda, and equally regular meetings with Chris Bennett, who's the overall manager of the Achieve Northwest project. And this allows us to create the relationship where we have an open, honest relationship with them. We are able to discuss problems with individuals and cohorts as a whole, if any arise, and look at ways we can challenge the normal behaviour of bums on seats, which is something that we don't go for at Recycling Lives. We try to focus on good quality referrals and a high retention rate and a high success rate. The advice I give to people wanting to set up a similar project is to develop the relationships. Don't go into a project looking for the funding. Go into the project with a specific goal to increase employability or to reduce worklessness or homelessness and reduce reoffending. Going in for the money is not the end. The money will come if the project works and the idea and the concept's there. The money will come to you. Also, I look at forging relationships, good relationships with key organisations. We've got great relationships with local colleges, the probation service and corporate partners that allow us to progress further. And that's the one thing I'd say, great relationships and good customer service, and not in respect to answering the phone, in respect to actually talking to people and the way that you present yourself to the cohorts, or the cohorts and the participants, through to the CEO of big companies who want to get involved.